Hi, I'm Dennis Gage. Welcome to My Classic Car. Well, this week we're in Fairbanks, Alaska at the Fountainhead Antique Auto Museum. I gotta tell you, this place absolutely blew me away. There's a whole lot of one of one and only one left, and even some Alaska only stuff in there. Let me take you inside and show you what I'm talking about.
There we go.
Often you see that, huh? Well, Willie, this is quite a place you got here.
It is.
Thanks for having me up. The Fountainhead Antique Auto Museum in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Yes, the farthest north auto museum in the world.
Well, you know, you were on me to come up here and see this, and I'm going, you know, you got a museum in Fairbanks. Isn't that nice?
It took you 2 years.
It's nice. Fairbanks Museum, that's nice. I came up here and I'm just stunned. This is absolutely a world-class collection.
Well, yeah, we believe it is. It's a great collection of cars.
Oh, amazing cars, and I don't even know where to start, really, because you've got so much cool stuff here, but let's start with one of my personal faves, the Boattail Speedster, the Auburn Boattail Speedster. This is a 1933, right?
33.
This was one of the sleekest cars I think ever built. It looks fast sitting still, and this baby is actually a V12 engine.
This has got a 391 cubic
Can you
inch
open it up?
V12, 160 horse, and at that time they were very conservative on their horsepower ratings. And as you can see, it may have an oil spot or two on it because we drive all these.
Yeah, that's another great thing about this museum. Virtually everything, almost everything here runs.
Everything has to be maintained running.
That's amazing.
We drive everything except for a couple of fragile cars.
Close that baby back up. But I love the dual side mount tires, and then your mirrors strapped to the tires, and the top. It's just so squashed. I mean, this thing was a hot rod. This thing's like chopped from the beginning, and a gorgeous engine turn dash. But of course, the real payoff with this car is the end here, the boat tail. I mean, it's just art. This car is rolling art. And these were originally designed, I guess, for racing, and this was so you couldn't draft.
Couldn't draft behind the boat tail car, absolutely.
I just absolutely love this car, and again, going down the road, nothing looks like one of these.
No.
But you've got so much here. You've got so many incredibly cool cars. You know, like I said, I didn't know where to start. I don't know where to go next, but let's go find something else.
Let's go find one.
All right. Well, you guys also have some really cool little racers, like this, a couple or three midgets. I like this Offie here. This is a pretty rare car, isn't it?
This is a very rare car. This is 1934, and this was Bob Swanson's car.
Who was a very famous racer.
Yes, and he won almost everything on the East Coast in this car. The engine that was in this car originally was the second Offenhauser built for midget racing.
Wow.
And that was the only engine they ever built. That was the first engine they built specifically for midget racers. When we look at safety on these cars, people don't realize how unsafe these cars were now.
Oh, there's no roll bar.
No, sit in there, Dennis, and show us what's exposed on these cars. Absolutely, get right in there.
You don't get in, you put them on, actually.
That's right, that's right.
Holy cow, yeah, okay. And then you work your way down.
Now this was.
You don't go any farther down than this.
That's it. Everything that's out is exposed.
I am the roll cage.
Yeah, from right there up, there's nothing else.
I bet there were no old midget racers.
Not very many, no.
Wow.
What you have there is what you have. You have a throttle, a fuel switch, and an ignition switch inside of the car, and that's all you have. The brake is on the outside here. That's the brake, mechanical rear wheels only.
Oh my God. And the steering gear's out here too.
Yep. And the fuel pump on this side here to pump up the fuel pressure in the tank.
Wow. Well, it's just one of three midgets you've got, and they're all really cool and really unique.
Oh,
but this
absolutely.
Offenhauser is, I mean, it's just such a gorgeous engine.
Oh, it is. It is. Just a fabulous car. Wow.
Well, let's go play with something else.
Let's go.
Welcome back to My Classic Car. Well, Willie, this is another really rare car in the collection. I'd never even heard of it before. It's an Argonne?
It's an Argonne, 1920 Argonne. It's one of 24 built.
This is actually a Duesenberg powered car, right?
Absolutely. This has the Rochester Duesenberg.
Which is not the Duesenberg engine you'd normally think of. It's not the dual overhead cam straight 8.
No, it's only half of that.
Okay.
It's only a 4-cylinder. This is what they call the walking beam engine they used in Rochester, built on the Duesenberg design. This is a 100-horse engine.
Wow.
Oh yeah, guaranteed 80 miles an hour.
In 1920.
They guaranteed you 20 miles to the gallon with a performance engine.
Wow. So it's a Rochester Duesenberg, I guess licensed, the design was
Yes.
licensed from Duesenberg?
Yes.
But it's still got the Duesenberg green on the block.
Absolutely.
It's just gorgeous too. I mean, the lines on this, it's a big car for
Huge car.
For being a roadster. Again, really it's a 2-passenger car, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. That's all you have, that and your golf clubs.
But you've got all the, the Spark Advance and all the controls there are.
We have several. The light switches, of course, are the push button switches, which is kind of unusual at that time. And then spark and throttle on there. And then other than that, it's just kind of standard. Yes.
Wow. And I love the rear end of it too, with the wood here, the chrome here, wood here. I mean, you could load this baby up with luggage. This is quite a rear deck.
Absolutely.
2 spares.
2 spares.
Gas tank back here.
Gas tank. You can lift that up for access. That first board, the
really?
second board,
because it doesn't look
lift that right up.
Oh, okay.
Look at that.
So you could get to it. That's
Yes.
great, because I couldn't figure out how you'd put gas in this.
Yeah,
baby
it looked
otherwise.
like, how are we going to do that?
That is cool. I mean, no, they're just gorgeous, ultra rare.
They only built 2 of these with that engine, and we're fortunate to have the Survivor having that engine.
Well, that's great. But hey,
Look here.
Look at that. Let's check that out. Welcome back to My Classic Car, coming to you from Fairbanks, Alaska, and the Fountainhead Antique Auto Museum. Well, Willie, this I think I like the story of this car the best. This is the oldest car in Alaska, the first car in Alaska, built in Alaska. What's the deal on this?
This is the first automobile in Alaska.
Okay.
And this is the only car built in Alaska.
It's in Ripley's
the
too, right?
standard catalog of automotive history, it's in there. Bobby Sheldon built this car in 1905, 1906 in Skagway. 18-year-old lad, never seen a car in his life.
Really?
Built this out of parts he could find down there. And the chassis and stuff that you see, the wheels came off of freight carts from around the docks down there. The seats were built out of bar stools that he scrounged up.
That's what it looks like. And this is the gas tank here.
The gas tank is there.
Wooden stopper, and that's a house light switch.
That's a household light switch. Well, he worked for the power company.
Ah.
So I'm sure he paid for it.
Yeah, sure, I'm sure
Yes,
he did.
yep,
But is that what came with it?
That was on the car originally when it was built. Wow. This Faro special engine, 2-cycle marine engine, is what was supposedly in the car. We haven't documented that, but that's what we understand so far, is that that's the engine that was in the car first.
Wow.
Came out of a sunken little boat, and he resurrected it and used it to build this car, which he had to do to one-up a horse.
Why did he need to one-up a horse?
Because he was pursuing this young lady, and she was being pursued also by a doctor's son who had access to a nice horse and buggy.
So he built this car to impress a girl, and he had never seen a car before.
Never seen a car before, just pictures of them.
How'd you do with the girl?
Well, she married 3 times, but not to him.
He's probably a lucky
So,
guy.
yeah, he kept the car.
If he'd married her, he probably wouldn't have the car.
And if she'd have married the other guy, the horse would be dead by now.
I love the story.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, Willie, these cycle cars I get a kick out of. There's a number of manufacturers of these back in the day. None of them ever caught on.
No, they were very, very popular for a short period of time in small numbers.
Popular for a short period of time in small numbers.
Yeah,
That pretty well describes it.
That's about it.
So what one is this? What model?
This is a 1914 Woods Mobilette.
Mobilette?
Mobilette.
So what was the point of these? I mean, I'd always heard they were looking for economical transportation, but these things always ended up costing more for some reason.
Well, they cost as much as a Ford. A Model T at this time was under $400.
Yeah.
This car was $385.
Well, $15 less.
Well, but then you could spend that on the top and a windshield.
Because it didn't come with a top and windshield?
Didn't come. If you wanted a speedometer to see how fast you were going, which was 35 miles an hour top, that was $11.
Okay.
Brakes cost you $10.
Brakes were an option?
Brakes were an option on this car.
Yeah, that worries me a little bit.
Yeah.
I like the Cyclops headlight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's right square in the driver's vision.
Yeah, perfect.
Safe car.
And it was 2 passengers, but front
passengers.
and back instead of side by side.
Right. they were safe to send your daughter on dates in.
Well, yeah, you couldn't get in a heck of a lot of trouble in here.
That's right. She had to sit in the back. And you didn't have to be well trained to drive them because the instrumentation didn't take a lot of concentration.
There was no instrumentation.
The closest thing to a gauge would have been the stick you put in the fuel tank to see if you had any gas in it.
Man, and they just never caught on.
No, and it might be something that maybe we could take this out and let you drive it, and you'll understand why they didn't pan out.
Well, it looks like an absolute blast.
Oh, they are. They're very fun cars.
I hope we do get a chance to fire this
well,
little guy
we'll see
up.
what happens.
Well,
you never know.
Yeah, you just never know.
Let's go check something out.
All right, I'm with you. Welcome back to My Classic Car. Now, Willie, this is another one and only in the collection, right? This is an 1898 Hay Hotchkiss.
Correct. And this is the only one built.
Oh, really?
It was a prototype.
So it's not just the only one left, it's the only one ever.
It's the only one they built, absolutely. This was designed by Walter Hay, and they had 21 engineers work a total of 2 years to design and build this thing.
Wow.
And with 21 engineers, 2 years' time, it's
broke.
Understandable why they went broke.
Wow.
We're really happy to have it, showing the transition from buggies to
But it's got a lot of
automobiles.
wild. I mean, this has got to be one of the first tilt columns.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Tilt column, adjustable.
Yeah. What's this lever?
That's the clutch that
That's odd. So
engages things. Yes.
Hand-operated clutch. Mm-hmm. Gosh.
And of course, then you have your
The
bell.
bell,
You have
right.
to have that.
But back
The
here,
engine was fabulous on this
is
thing.
unbelievable. There is so much copper in here. I mean, this is with the price of copper today. This is worth a fortune right here.
Absolutely. Now, what's rare is this is a horizontally opposed 4-cylinder air-cooled engine.
In 1898.
8 cycle.
8 cycle.
8 cycle.
How'd that work?
It didn't.
It didn't.
That's why they didn't go into production.
Not so good.
Yeah, it kind of runs in spite of and not because of.
Wow. Let's go look at something that actually went into production.
Okay, let's do it.
Now, Willie, this is a really interesting car. This is a compound, right? Is that what it's called?
This is a 1906 compound. Fabulous car. Very rare.
Yeah.
The only one left.
Oh, is it really?
Yep. Total
Okay.
production of about 300 cars.
Well, they made that many. And it's a gorgeous car, big, touring car. But what was the special feature of it?
This is our first green car, our first emissions car.
So what was the deal? Can I lift this up?
Lift that up, hold it up. You'll notice it's a 3-cylinder car. They have carburation and ignition on the front and rear, but nothing on the center.
So it's really almost an afterburner.
Absolutely, and all the exhaust comes out the center cylinder.
Wow. And how did it work? Did it actually work pretty well?
It runs pretty well.
Wow.
It really runs pretty well. And it's also the first time you see a purge tank or a surge tank on the radiator.
So you didn't have to put a Pabst Blue Ribbon can there.
Right. It siphoned it back and forth as you needed
amazing.
it. And it's got a dead man switch on it.
Really? So if you had a problem, it didn't
If
keep
you fall
going.
out of the seat, it's going to stop.
Is that little...
That's that little switch right
over
there.
And then I'm assuming this is nickel, not chrome.
That's correct.
And what are the little sights?
This is the oiler for the engine.
Okay. And I love the kind of stadium seating here.
Yes,
So you
yes.
sat up higher and back.
You always put your wife up higher than you are.
Yes, absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful coach work.
It is
on it.
fabulous coach work.
Wow. But it also has hydraulic shocks on the rear.
This was really way ahead of its time.
Very advanced automobile. Very advanced.
Pretty
automobile.
expensive, probably?
Yeah, they were rather expensive.
Pricey. But boy, I mean, it shows in the quality.
Yes, beautiful cars and runs very well. And we might even take a chance and drive that.
Boy,
How's that?
I'd love to see this one on the road too. How often do you see that, huh? So until our next meeting, remember, honor the timeless classics. I'm Dennis Gage. Happy motoring.